Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. When the timer finally went off, Sasha checked a few rods by taking them out, pulling out the hair and examining the curl. Still not ready, she told me. Give it 20 more minutes and your new curls should be just right. After a 20-minute wait, Sasha came over, lifted the top of the dryer, and Tiffany helped me back into the shampoo sink. After 15 minutes of rinsing, my rods were dry and the neutralizer was applied. It smelled good and was a nice change from the smell of perm product. As Sasha told me, I would have to get used to the smell of perm solution because it's going to stay with my hair for a long time. It took 20 minutes and one more rinse before Sasha could start taking the rods out. I couldn't see because my head was still in the shampoo sink, but soon she was done. She rinsed my head one more time, and it felt lighter now. I slowly turned in the chair and stood up to look at the results. The person I saw in the mirror was a girl who looked a lot like Lady Godiva, with curls spiraling from the top of my head down to a bit past my back. Whoa, where did the 6 inches go that I was supposed to lose? At most, it was 3 to 4 inches. Why was I even thinking about losing hair length? My brown hair was styled and colored all the way down, and I was not happy that they had only taken off 3 inches. All I could do was look at my reflection again while Sasha applied styling gel and used a diffuser on the hairdryer to dry my now very girly hair. They put leg and arm cuffs on me with Tiffany's help so that my head was the only thing that could move. When I turned my head, my new hair would brush across my back and touch my face and neck. All I could do was listen to Sasha telling me how great that would feel, and now I was living it and loving it. What the heck was I going to do next? What did Tiffany and Sasha have planned for me? As Sasha dried my long, spiral curly hair, the curls just kept getting bigger. More and more tight, I thought. My God, how am I going to deal with this much hair? When Sasha finished drying my hair, it looked like it had been cut shorter. My bangs were now only 6 or 7 inches long and right at eye level. Just the right length, I thought. Sasha bragged, "Sorry, boy, for you, Troy. This is Shayla. I really don't want to deal with that much hair every day." Tiffany spoke up and said, "But it does look very girly," and gave a smile. The room was empty because Sasha and Tiffany were taking a well-earned break, leaving me to wonder what kind of feminization would be done to me next. I had no idea what else was going to happen, or more importantly, why this was taking place. I was about to be told. After being gone for about 30 minutes, Sasha came back into the room and told me it was time for her to tell me about the rest of the plan and why I was making myself do this. "You see," she said, "I own a big clothes design business that specializes in wedding dresses, prom dresses, and dresses for other special events, among different things." She went on. "Over the years, I've discovered that hiring women to be models in my ads and fashion shows costs a lot. Another thing, female models are tough to work with as more people want them." As Sasha was telling me this, I thought, what the hell does this mean? What does this have to do with me? I was about to find out. "Also," Sasha said, "we have to change the clothes all the time because they are all different shapes." All of these problems just began to pile up, and I thought, "Hey, why not make my models from the beginning?" She said, "At first, I thought I would get normal women and change them. Then I thought that one day I would be making the same divas I already had to deal with. It would still be a gown problem." Then she had an idea. "What if I began with a man and changed him into the look of a female model?" As she spoke, my heart sunk. She detailed how the other good thing about using guys is that she can shape their bodies with padding and other things to fit the clothes instead of the other way around, which would be a breeze. With that, Sasha told me that after my transformation was complete, I would be her first custom-made model, and she hoped that I would enjoy being her model in the end. "I believe you will learn to love wearing bras, shoes, corsets, nylons, dress gowns, and crinolines. Yes, lovely silk wedding dresses with long trains and satin. Getting your hair dyed, curled, and styled into big fancy hairstyles, and getting your makeup done every day so that you look like the most girly woman possible. Also, Tiffany and I talked about it during our break, and we decided that your new name will be Shayla. Does that sound good to you?" I just laughed out loud. Sasha's last thought was over when I saw Tiffany walk in and hand Sasha something. Now you need to explain the rest of your change for the better and get back to work. Sasha began to tell me about my next step in becoming a woman. It looks like your hair turned out okay. Better than I thought it would be. Also, your nails look great, so I believe it is time to put on some makeup. Then Sasha and Tiffany picked me up from the chair and carried me to what looked like a massage table. After that, Sasha told me what they would have to do in order for me to never look like a man again. Put some long-lasting makeup on my face. But first, they had to get rid of all the hair on my face. So Sasha put me through hell while she used a laser to get rid of my beard hair. From there, she moved on to the permanent makeup. "We're only going to do a little, just enough for you," she told me. "You have to wear makeup all the time, or you'll look really silly," with a smile. "What would it be like to go to the store with Tiffany? You have lip and eyeliner on, but not anything else. Many people would be interested in you, but those beautiful, long, dark, wavy hair that has been highlighted will draw a lot of attention even when she didn't wear any makeup. Look at it, it is really beautiful," Tiffany answered. I couldn't believe what was happening. I loved it. Besides, after Sasha finished my makeup, there wasn't much I could do to become Troy again. In my head, I just screamed. Was I meant to be a supermodel? Not a job I had ever dreamed of having. After lining my eyes and lips and putting on a little makeup for an hour, Tiffany and Sasha held up a hand mirror for me to see Sasha's work. Good work. I was shocked. There was a thin black rim around my eyes and red lines around my lips. A very light shade of rose pink was painted on my cheeks for good measure. My long hair framed my face, and my pointed brows, my 6 earrings, and now permanent makeup. Shayla was the face I saw in the mirror, along with a tattooed beauty mark on the top of my chin, reminiscent of Cindy Crawford. And my transformation wasn't done yet. "Don't you think she's getting pretty?" Sasha said. Tiffany concurred. "It's time for that eyelash tint and perm I promised," Sasha told me as she brought me out of my daze. She then reached into one of the carts she had brought out earlier and took out 2 very small perm rods. Then she told me to close my eyes while she placed these tiny sticks on my eyelashes and put some kind of solution on them. She told him, "Don't open those beautiful green eyes of yours. You wouldn't want that solution to get in your eyes." Sasha and Tiffany dyed my eyelashes while the curl was setting, shaped my eyebrows in a girly way, and made them dark brown to match my hair. After that, 20 minutes later, they washed my eyes and brows and then colored my eyebrows that are always curled. "Think about Shayla, honey. With eyes that curled, you'll never have to use an eyelash curler again." Sasha laughed. "Yes, you. I forgot I'd never had to before. I just barely got out. That's really funny." "Hey," Sasha said, "how many women do you think would love to get all of this work done for free? You should start getting used to it, missus. Have a better mood." Tiffany laughed out loud from behind Sasha, which I could hear after that last thing. After 15 minutes, Sasha removed the perm rods from my eyelashes. "That's over with. Now on to bigger and better things," Sasha began. "We need to get rid of all that hair on our bodies now." After that, Tiffany and Sasha took me to a different room with a shower stall. Sasha then put up my hair with what looked like 6 or 7 clips, put on a shower cap, and said, "We can't let any of this touch those beautiful locks, shall we?" After Sasha was done taking care of my beautiful tousled hair, the 2 women began to cover me from head to toe in a strong-smelling cream that would make my skin very smooth and bald. They told me that they were going to use lasers to get rid of hair all over my body. "Oh, joy," I said. They left me alone for 20 to 30 minutes. When they came back, they hosed me down, and I watched as all of my body hair went down the drain. After the hose down, I was covered in a lotion that smelled like flowers. "Still, you'll have to shave your whole body every 2 days," she said. "But that will help you. It will make you stronger at being a woman. Running a nice bubble bath is the most girly thing you can do," Sasha went on. "Taking a bath, styling your hair, and shaving your legs." I was now in what I thought to be a different building. My thoughts were proven right when Sasha walked over and told me, "We can get her dressed now. You are now in my dress studio, and Tiffany and I are going to get you ready for the first photo shoot." I purposely didn't put much lasting makeup on your face so that it would be easy to change how you look all the time. Having said that, Tiffany started with what she called a concealer. She used a small triangle sponge to put this on my face. She told me I probably wouldn't need it anymore in the long run, since the hormones did their thing and made my face and the little beard I had soft. They would go away after the laser treatment. Once she was done with the base, she started to apply the makeup. After spending a good amount of time choosing what color to use, Tiffany told me I was using the Dream Matte Mousse by Maybelline in Honey Brown. It covers well and makes you look smooth. Don't you agree? Tiffany finished putting on my foundation and then put powder all over my face to set the base, as she put it. The next thing she did was apply my eyeshadow. God, I told her. She started by putting a dark red color on the crease of my lid, followed up a bit by a lighter rose color and then a light pink color right under my brow. She also put this color on my lid, but only a bit. Then she used a CoverGirl liquid liner pencil in Onyx to make my upper eyes darker. That's right, CoverGirl, that's exactly what they're turning me into, I thought. Then she did the same to my lower liner, but this time she used a CoverGirl eyeliner pencil in black. At this point, Tiffany told me she would start the mascara application, but she told me I wouldn't need much with my lashes now colored a beautiful black that would stay that way. She quickly finished this and then went on to make my cheeks rosier, using different colors of CoverGirl Cheekers blush. Now for the last one, she smiled. We are going to use CoverGirl Outlast Lip Stain in Merlot for your lips. It will stay through anything, she told me. As I looked in the mirror, I was becoming more and more like a woman in a glamour magazine, and I couldn't stop it from happening. Look, you're beautiful. Just look at how your hair falls over your earrings, your beautiful face, your eyebrows and the hair down your back, your pretty nails and makeup. We're almost done. You see feminine beauty, and that's all you are going to see from now on. These words hit me like a ton of rocks. She was right. I was stuck as a woman, and not just any woman. She was a beautiful model. At that time, I had no idea what was going on or how my life had been changed in about 24 hours. I gave up and let Tiffany finish my lips. Tiffany smiled and said, "Good girl," as she worked on my lips. I felt lucky because she and Sasha were going to inject collagen into their chosen model's lips to make them look like they'd been stung by a bee. But I already had pretty lips, so that wouldn't be necessary. I thought, great, I love being a girl. Now that you're done with makeup, what a change, Tiffany called out. I could only look at myself and start to mourn the loss of Troy, because all I saw in the mirror was Shayla. Tiffany then went to get Sasha, while I stood there looking at myself in the mirror. Soon, they both came back, and Sasha almost had a heart attack upon seeing how well I'd made up my face. "Tiffany, my God, he's so beautiful. You did a great job with him, I just don't believe it. He has a good face shape to work with, and the makeup went on like a dream," Tiffany answered. I was sure to tell him what I was with, and she forgot some of what she'd learned about how to use it at each step. When I think of a wedding dress, I only think of the most girly one. I almost forgot. We need to put his hair up in a very high bun to begin. Tiffany, could you go get the hairstyling cart from the other room? Bring it here from their room? I already have the flat irons and curling irons ready to use, so be careful. I'm going to have a great time with this much hair. I bet it will be 12 inches above his or her head when I'm done putting it up. I'm going to curl it up in big barrel curls and trail it down the sides of his face. After that, Tiffany went to get the styling cart. Sasha started to play. She leaned in close to my ear as I looked in the mirror and stroked my hair and asked, "Your hair feels great, doesn't it? Can you feel it caressing your bare back? Do you remember that I told you before we started that you'll love how your hair feels on your back when you wear an off-the-shoulder dress? Well, you're about to find out for yourself. Do you like being turned into a woman?" "I hope so," she said with a smile. "I love it," I smiled back. At that point, Tiffany pulled up with the styling cart, which was full of curling irons of all shapes and sizes, and what I would soon learn to use were flat irons. The cart also had many bottles on it, hairspray, gel, hair mousse, and hundreds of hairpin packages in different lengths. We are going to have to smooth some of your very curly hair out before putting it up. All set, beautiful? She asked Sasha. I just gave her a frustrated shrug as she got to work with the cart's biggest flat iron. As Sasha would remove a part, I felt the flat iron wrap around my hair at the head and pull it back, all the way to the end of my hair. Of course, this did not feel that nice as she worked on most of my head. I didn't understand why she curled my hair for good and then wanted it straight again after only 24 hours. If you're not sure why I permed your hair just to straighten it again, don't worry. You had to have a perm if you want your hair to hold all kinds of styles. I wouldn't curl it otherwise, Sasha said in a mocking tone. Soon, the back of my head was smooth and soft. I have highlights in my hair now, ugh. I was really sick of having my hair done, and at this point, I just wanted the change to be over, but that wasn't going to happen. Following this, Sasha began to take big pieces from the back of my head to the front. She would comb them out and use hairspray and a lot of hairpins to hold them in place. Soon I had a huge mass of hair on top of my head, but I couldn't see what Sasha was doing next because of the scarf that was over my face. Later, I found out that she would then take pieces of hair from the bunch on top of my head and use a big curling iron to make big waves in my hair and pin them in a sculpted shape on top of my head. Soon, hundreds of hairpins held dozens of big curls in place, being on top of my head. Sasha was right when she said I was going to enjoy this. I don't think I've ever seen hair this high before she did it for me, even in pictures of women from the 1950s. The hairspray had made the back and front of my hair shiny, and there was something on top of my head that I would call a work of art. A piece of art, if you're a woman. After putting on one last large amount of hairspray, Sasha said, "That hair isn't moving." After a short break, she left the room and came back with a big bunch of flowers that looked like baby's breath, mixed with tiny pearls. Soon, she was adding these flowers and pearls to my updo. If you looked, you could have found my picture in the dictionary under the very idea of femininity right now. Before she pulled a few strands of hair down along the sides of my face and spiral curled them with the tiny curling iron, I thought I looked more girly than ever. She laughed and said, "These are called tendrils. Don't you look lovely? I can't wait to see you with the veil on." "Yeah, neither can I laughed. Sasha said with joy, "Okay, I think we're ready to get you in your first, but definitely not last bridal gown. If you were asking, your trousseau is all of your wedding clothes, from your corset to your gown. Just stay here, and Tiffany and I will get it." Tiffany and Sasha came back with a lot of bags and boxes, including a big garment bag filled with white satin material. I thought, that must be the dress. Oh my God. First, they put a bar in the ceiling and hung me by my arms. After this, they put a white satin corset with lots of lace trim around my waist and laced it up the back. I was told I was lucky because the corset could be worn as a corset to trim my waist and as a garter belt to hold up my lace-trimmed nylons that I was about to wear. Sasha told me, "Don't worry, honey, you will get used to the feel very quickly since you will be wearing one of these from now on." I guess this really did make me feel better. Then came my pants, which were the frizziest pants I had ever seen. Then my lace-trimmed nylons came out. Tiffany and Sasha teamed up and slowly took turns, each taking a leg, rolling up the nylons to make me feel even more like a woman. Each of them attached one of the 6 garter belts that hung from my corset to the lace-topped nylons. Oh my God, how could I move in all that? That was not a worry they shared with me, I'm sure. Tiffany suggested that they move a full-length mirror over once my nylons were done so I could get a good look at myself. "Great idea, Tiffany, let's do it," Sasha said. After saying that, Tiffany picked up one of the full-length mirrors and rolled it over to me. I let out a gasp even though I was high. It seemed like Fredericks of Hollywood had cast me as a model. I think I could have turned myself on if I kept looking, except that the fact that the person I saw in the mirror was really me made me too upset. "Tiffany, don't you think she loves the way she looks now?" Sasha smiled and said. "That's for sure," Tiffany said. "What man, woman, wouldn't want to look like this?" I had nothing to say. In a little more than 24 hours, these two women had changed me into a beautiful woman. I would live my life as a woman from now on. "Okay, princess, enough staring at how beautiful you are," Sasha said, jolting me out of my thoughts. "It's time to finish off your look." After saying that, Sasha and Tiffany carefully put a big crinoline over my head so as not to mess up my hairstyle and tied it behind me. The base of the crinoline had to be 5 feet across. I didn't know how I was going to walk in this. The dress came next. It was made of snow-white fabric and, as promised, slung off the shoulder. It had a lot of pearls, beads, and sequin embellishments. Even though it was off the shoulder, the arms went all the way down to the bottom of my shoulders. There were a lot of tiny buttons on the back, and there were 12 buttons on each arm. Once these buttons were closed, I would not be able to take off this dress even if I wasn't high. This is especially true with my new nails. I thought this was also what my two feminizers were counting on. As Sasha and Shayla started to button up all the dresses, she told her, "Only we can get you out of this gown, so I would suggest you just get comfortable in it. You look beautiful." I didn't notice how long the train was until Tiffany stretched it out right now. It had to be 15 feet long. It was so heavy that I couldn't imagine a woman not being tired by the end of the day if she wore that dress to her wedding. Soon, Sasha had a veil over my head and was using many hairpins to hold it in place at the base of my curls. It was the same length as my train, so I could hardly move my head. It was a crown style, and there was a poof of gauze at the top of my head. The gauze then went down my head and out to the bottom of my train. The crown was also very heavy because it was full of beads, diamonds, and pearls. I knew that this outfit would make me tired if I wore it for a long time. Next, Tiffany brought over some 3-inch sandal-style heels with straps and put them on my feet, which were still in nylons. While Tiffany put on my new shoes, Sasha changed my starter stud earrings to ones with dangling drop pearls in the lower holes and 2 regular pearls in the 2 upper holes. The feeling of the pearls moving around my neck was very disturbing. Then, Sasha put a string of pearls around my neck and said, "This look is complete. Just remember that you will be dressing like this every day for a long time to come." "Shayla, can you stand up on your own now?" Sasha asked. I looked like a lovely bride. This was known by both Tiffany and Sasha. Tiffany wheeled over the full-length mirror she had used before, and I stood up as she told me to. It made me cry just to look at myself in the mirror. I was so beautiful. I did not expect this to happen today, but it was the best day of my life. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.